Hey, we're back with the Leader Matters podcast where we talk short leadership lessons with my daughter Ellie, 16-year-old Ellie. Ellie is trying to be a she's in the mix anyway for valedictorian. Currently number one in your class, right, Ellie? Grades came back out. So
Yep, number one.
yeah, good job. But you got to keep it up. But most importantly, I'm just proud she's trying to be. I don't even care if she finishes there, but I do care that she's trying, and I'm trying to teach her some leadership lessons before she's gone and doesn't live with me anymore. So, if you guys are getting something out of this, that's awesome. But to be honest, I'm just enjoying talking to Ellie about it. I hope it helps other people. But if nobody listens, that's fine too. But I do hear people are listening, Ellie. We're getting some good feedback. So,
hmm Yeah,
um,
I've heard some good feedback.
yeah, how about that? None of your friends, I'm sure. These are old people listening, but
Mm,
they're getting something out
No,
of it. Um, you're not telling your friends this is not the fodder of the high school lunchroom, or
no, they're PHS is not just religiously listening to this one.
maybe they should be. Maybe that's part of their
I mean, I
problem.
feel like they'd learn a lot about being a
Yeah.
leader.
Yeah, they would. Maybe some people could listen. So today we're going to talk about setting a tone still. We had several of these about setting a vision. The next several are setting a tone. We kind of introduced that last week. Today we're talking about leading yourself. We kind of talked about that before, but the lesson for today, the topic, the headline, whatever is the first person you lead is you. The first person you lead is looking at you in the mirror. Okay. So a lot of times people can be fake good leaders. They can't be good leaders to that man in the mirror, that lady in the mirror. So I gave you a military story last time. I give you one more. So Admiral William McRaven, this is a famous speech. You can look this up. It's on YouTube. I think it's 2014. He gave a commencement speech. You know what a commencement speech is?
No.
A commencement speech, you would know this. You may have done one. A commencement speech is something, the guy that talks at graduation. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, like college graduation, the University of Texas. And William McRaven, he was an admiral. You know what an admiral is? That's like a general in the Navy. Okay. Like that's as high as you can get. So, he's one of the main people in the Navy. He said, if you want to change the world, start by making your bed. And everybody's kind of like, what's this talking about? This is a YouTube clip you can get. He gives this whole spiel about this. Starts off, and he's an old Navy SEAL. He argued that the foundation of leadership was doing small things well, especially when nobody was watching. And the point was clear that personal discipline is critical. So he thought, before you did anything, you start the day making your bed. That nobody's watching you. You don't have to do it. If you don't, life will go on. But he said that if you want to change the world, start by making your bed. And he goes on this long spiel, and I'm not gonna, we might can link it in the podcast notes or something. But people should totally watch. It's a great video. Um, but setting the tone for leadership, just involves great attitude and great effort, and those are the things that begin with you. So if you want your team to be good, you got to have a great attitude. You got to have great effort. Those are two things that are really hard to teach. Like if you were playing football for me back in the day, I could teach you football. I can't really teach you to try hard. I can't really teach you to be smart. I can't really teach you to have a great attitude. I can work on that stuff a little, but those are things you have to do. So the same could be said for you. If you're the leader, you got to be the first one with a great attitude, giving great effort. That begins with you. The first person you lead is you, and has to be when even maybe nobody's watching. And so that story that McRaven told resonated with so many people because it was so simple, relatable, and authentic. The smallest habits, like starting your day with the bed made, they compound over time and time and time. Now, I don't, be honest, I don't even make the bed. Your mom makes the bed. But to me, it wasn't about that. It was that these personal choices send a message, and if you want your team to do specific things, you got to model those. And of course, making the bed is something you do when nobody's around. It's just a good habit. And so I thought it was interesting to start with. But the real thing you want to do is model when you're leading yourself. You want to really model trust, care, and commitment. So I used to work before you were born. I worked at Sequoia High School for a guy named Sid Maxwell. I left the University of Alabama as a student and moved to Hickory Flat, Georgia, and coached football for Coach Maxwell. And he had many catchphrases. Coach Maxwell had a lot of catchphrases, but one of them was trust, care, and commitment. And at the time, I'm not sure I knew what that meant. I just think he said it all the time. And but now I was thinking about what I was going to talk to you about with this. Uh, leading first person you lead is you. And it was really that. His words kind of stood out. They were on everything. I put them on everything as a coach, and we kind of move into trust, care, and commitment. You got to trust people before they trust you. You got to lead yourself by trusting in others. You got to lead yourself into caring about the team, and you got to lead yourself into being committed, and doing things regardless. And so, um, those three words aren't just a slogan; they're really a roadmap for how you get where you need to be. And so, um, how's another way? So there's a couple of ways where first person you lead is you. Match your actions to your words. Like that's kind of like you making your bed, but practicing what you preach. You know, how do you ensure you're leading the person in the mirror? Just doing the best you can, doing the best you can, doing the best you can. But here's a couple self audits. So I'm gonna give four things, then we'll be done. So there's four common areas that leaders should periodically review. Okay, like a self audit. You know what that is? A self audit. Like, well, I mean, just like, am I doing this well? Yes or no? Because remember, this lesson is first person you lead is you. So nobody else is around. You're just asking yourself, no reason to lie. Am I good at these four things? First thing, punctuality. Like, am I modeling punctuality? Am I showing up on time? Am I valuing other people's schedule? And be honest, are you? Communication. Are you effectively communicating? Do people understand what you're saying? Do you have communication breakdowns? Number three, preparation. Like, are you maximizing your preparation time? When you have some time, are you doing it? For you, it might be homework or studying or something, but are you maximizing your time? For coaches, it could be planning practice and things like that. And the last thing is energy. Like, are you bringing positive energy? Yes or no? Are you bringing enthusiasm that you want from other people? So those are four things that is a self audit of what you need to be doing. And so, um, in summary, what starts with you as a leader? Trust, care, commitment, effort, attitude, punctuality, communication, preparation, energy. I mean, all those things start with you. And we're going to talk a lot more. So the next four or five of these are about all those different traits, right? So we're going to get into detail about trust, care, and commitment, in detail about attitude and effort, and get into detail about punctuality, communication, preparation, energy. Those are things that if you're not bringing them, you can't ask anybody else to bring them. That all starts with you. So, what do you think when you hear all that, Ellie?
I think that if you show that as a leader, that would really encourage the people who work for you and work with you to do that too. But if you're not, then they're not going to be motivated. They're not going to be like have respect for you as their leader if you're not showing up on time or doing what you're supposed to do. So I think all those things are really important to be successful.
So, what do you think of break them down in three parts and we'll be done? What do you think about trust, care, and commitment? Which of those words stands out the most to you when you're trying to think about leading yourself?
I mean, I think if I had to only pick one word,
Because I'm asking
um,
you.
I would probably pick commitment because I think staying committed to something, especially over a really long period of time, if it's really hard, is that's really difficult.
Sure.
So I think that's an important quality of a leader to be able to stay committed to the same thing or the same plan, the same vision.
Yeah, because think about if you trust means you trust somebody else. And sometimes you got to trust other people before they're going to trust you. But
Mhm,
you trust something and you care about it because everybody knows what care means. It's important to you.
mhm,
But committed means I trust and I care even when maybe some bad things have happened, or maybe it's not going my way, or maybe I'm starting to doubt this a little bit. Am I still committed? Like, it's easy to care when you're winning, right? Committed means even when
mhm,
it's not going your way. So you're committed to getting good grades. You can't just care about getting good grades. You have to be both. You got to care. You got to want to do well. But then if it
mhm.
starts going bad, are you still committed to the work that has to be done to do that? So that's actually pretty good. Of the three, that should be the one you pick, honestly, because they're kind of culminate. They kind of build up. Like, each one's a little more important than the other. Attitude and effort, those are easy. Those are the two things you don't control. We'll talk about them. We'll talk more about those throughout this whole series. But when I mention those other four things, punctuality, communication, preparation, energy, those are things you should do a self audit. That means you should ask yourself, am I good at those four things? Which one are you the best at? Punctuality, communication, preparation, or energy? Like you got to do your own self audit here in front of everybody. And in full disclosure, I don't give Ellie these questions. She has no idea what I'm going to say. So she has no prep work for this on purpose. So what do you think?
Good at preparation, I would think. I'm pretty good at like getting ready for stuff. Um,
Yeah.
that's probably my best one.
Yeah. I mean, you struggle a little bit with communication, but once you're a teenage girl, that's for another day. And you're pretty punctual. Now you're pretty punctual for a
Yeah,
teenager.
I
I
try
give
to
you,
be punctual.
you know, but preparation, I would agree. Ellie's very hardworking, very prepared. But you do a self. But all four of these things need to be good. Like, are you bringing energy for you? Might just mean, are you bringing energy into the classroom? You're on the dance team. Are you bringing energy to dance practice? Or are you just dragging around? Or when you're in the classroom, it's not energy like excitement, but are you still focused to right when class starts? You're getting your mind right, and bringing the energy you need to be successful in that classroom. If you're ever not, then you just have to say, no, I really hadn't been doing that as much. I need to start doing better. It's okay. That's what a self audit is. Like you're just auditing yourself. You're just saying, yeah, a self evaluation, I guess, a better way to say it. Right. So, yeah, like I think those are good things to audit yourself on. And that's what a good leader does. And so, in conclusion, the first person you lead is you. So, you can't be a leader of other people. You can't even lead yourself in those ways. Now, once you can lead yourself, in all those different ways I said, trust, care, commitment, effort, attitude, punctuality, communication, et cetera, then you can start leading some other people. So you got this vision. We talked about setting the tone, like looking in the mirror, talking about yourself. And now we can start getting them a little more into how we can set tones to lead other people. And that's what we're going to talk about next time. So anything else, Ellie?
Think I'm good.
All right. Tell the people bye.